All right, we're still in September. Audiobook was 162 is The River Mumma by Zalika Reed Benta. So this was a story of a Jamaican river deity, and she basically comes to the main character, and she's tasked her with finding the comb that River Mumma had stolen from her. And there are other kind of evil deities or manifestations that are kind of hindering the task. I thought overall it did a good job of kind of describing a story that I wasn't familiar with. I gave it a 3. And, I thought it was good. 163 is The Storyteller by Dave Grohl. So this is basically his memoir, and it kind of goes through his early childhood and kind of the bands he was in. So he was in a punk band, I think it was called Scream. And then Nirvana came and obviously became very, 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 very famous. And then Foo Fighters. And, it's very surface in terms of what happens with those bands. He talks about meeting his idols, which was great for him. I kind of put it in more of a vacation read because he doesn't really talk about the other side of rock and roll in terms of like drugs and womenizing and all that. But it was good, and it kind of a little glimpse into his life. And I ended up giving it a 3. All right, 164 is Shubeik Lubeik by Dina Muhammad. And this was originally written in Arabic, and apparently this means as you wish. And this was a very unique book for me. It's a little hard to see, but because it was in Arabic, you read it from right to left. And it's a graphic novel. I never get graphic novels, but I really liked it. I ended up giving it a 4, maybe even slightly higher. And it's all about people buying wishes and then, trying to decide how they make that best wish, which is not easy. And on the surface, it seems like a very simple story, but there's a lot of other stuff going on. Trying to better your life in abusive situations, mental health, etc. I recommend it. It's very, very original, and I thought it was kind of a different book to read.